Hey guys, how you going? It's Josh here in the very early hours of Wednesday morning. And so I just woke up and couldn't get back to sleep, so I thought I'd get up and do some painting, get back to work, and come and have a chat with you guys. So, just to get into the news, some very important and exciting news dropped from Wargames Atlantic with the second edition of Baron's War being announced as a boxed game. So that's interesting, like a box set with a new rulebook in a new size and containing enough plastic models so you can have a couple of retinues that you can split between yourself and your friend or one of your kids if you're lucky enough to have a son or daughter into miniature tabletop wargaming, or father. You're going to rope your father into it, even better. But yeah, that's really good to hear, and it's encouraging to see that the game is growing and in popularity, as the Facebook numbers would suggest. At clicking over now over about 13,000 people, that's pretty impressive for a game like Baron's War. And credit to Andy and the team behind it. So that's excellent. And the second edition just is a perfect timing for me because I haven't actually played and experienced the game myself. I've enjoyed painting the miniatures and buying those miniatures from Footsore, of course, as I really love the Ottrimer sort of theatre of Baron's War. But I'm also now getting stuck into painting my my English retinues for just the standard game. And as it's sort of just a break from painting all that black, it's just, getting to different colors and painting all their uniforms in greens and reds and blues and browns and all that kind of thing. So that's cool. That's interesting. And I really look forward to doing the knights and all the heraldry and all of that as well. So I think the new box set is just another great way of just jumping into the game afresh with some new plastics from Wargames Atlantic that should contain about 1,000 points, as what Andy's saying now. The video I've linked in the post section here, and I'll link also in the video description. But you can go and check that out and watch the full interview and hear Andy talking about that with Charlie, about the new changes and how the second edition came about, and why they decided to release another edition of the game, and how that will probably be beneficial for people who are either existing players or people like me who are just coming afresh to the system. So it looks really interesting and exciting, and I wish them all the best with this new box set. The rulebook will be coming in a larger format, which would be great because as much as I love the original rulebook, also kindly donated to me by David over in the States. Thanks, David, again, mate, for that, because he knew I was interested in the game. But at that point, I had no models. I think maybe I had a couple of models there. I think I just bought a few packs from Footsore just out of curiosity of just painting the miniatures, because I just fell in love with the models they had on their website. But having the rule book, having read the rules, I really like the book and the artwork and everything about it. The layout design, the graphic design is really on point, I felt, for the period and everything like that. And reading about the history about certain characters and all that kind of stuff. But the actual book itself was kind of a little bit unwieldy because it would just sort of spring shut all the time and you couldn't really fold it out and have it open all the time. And the size was kind of small for my old eyes anyway. So this new the larger format, probably probably gives bigger text. It's going to be a bigger book. I don't know. We'll have to see. But just having it in a physically bigger sized or larger sized format is a big help. So I'm really happy about that. And Of course, it will come contained in a box set with the plastic miniatures and everything as well. I don't know what else will come with it, but maybe some tokens, and I would say some cardboard tokens you could use for your activations and stuff like that. That seems like to be the most logical thing they would do. So it's like a complete box set, so everything you need will be in just one place. So that sounds very interesting. And that's where I'm going to sort of start my Baron's War journey in playing the rules and playing the game itself, which I hope to feature on the channel at some point. And it looks more and more likely that I'll be doing that remotely, as that's the way I kind of enjoy games now. And I've done it before with Test of Honor. It worked out really, really well because and both games written by Andy actually as well. Well, he's had great involvement with designing those games, and because you can pre-measure at any time, so you can pre-measure for shooting, pre-measure for moving, everything. It just means that if I'm playing remotely, and I'm going to talk about what remote gaming is, but playing remotely, it works really well for those kind of game systems because you can always measure and do all that. So you can coordinate that really well with your opponent on the other side. So let's talk about remote gaming and what exactly it is. Because if I say remote gaming, people assume, oh, it's got to be tabletop simulator, which is obviously very popular, and it's used all around the world with people playing all different kinds of game systems, from Warhammer 40k to board games, you name it. They've got some kind of skin or some kind of assets there to create and make your favorite games available on this like I say, like a simulator. And I know a lot of people who are active in the Discord community play Tabletop Simulator for that very reason, because they don't have the opportunity to play with someone locally, and they can play at any time, organizing that through Discord or other groups to get their game on. So the way I like to play remote games is by actually having the table and miniatures and organizing my lists with my opponent beforehand, and then using my camera just like this. Just basically what you're seeing now would be the table setup, and I'd have the camera poised over the top of the tabletop, so they can see everything that's going on. They have their dice and their underlist with them, and then working together, we just coordinate the game, and I move their troops, and they get to roll their dice, and we get to have that sort of tangible feeling of using the miniatures, rolling the dice, and all that kind of thing. So we're really essentially playing an actual tabletop game. I'm just not having the opponent physically here. They're playing remotely and seeing everything through the camera lens on our screen through Discord. Now, Discord is an application that's not new. It's been around for quite a while, and I got into it during the pandemic and started playing remote games of various different systems throughout our main server, which is the Crown of Command. I sort of actively play games like Space Hulk and Man of War, and I played Test of Honor during the pandemic remotely, and it worked out really well. So as long as you got a willing opponent, then you can always set up a game, and someone has to be the host, obviously, and have all the miniatures and have all the game components ready, and they just talk through their opponent, and they go through the turns, and you play a game that way. So the only disadvantage the guest player would have is that they can't actually physically pick up the miniatures and move them on the tabletop. But essentially, they're rolling the dice. They're determining determining the results through the fate of the dice and that kind of thing, as you would normally do through a regular game. There has to be a level of trust too between you and your opponent, because obviously they're rolling dice. You can't see what they're rolling, so that's something that choose your opponents wisely, I would say. But yeah, I've had no issues with that. I've had only great guys to play with and game with, I've had no issues with any of that kind of stuff. Um, so um, so that's how we're going to play Baron's War with a good mate Scott in the US, as we're getting ready to play I would say now the version 2 is announced. We're going to wait for that to come out, the rule book and everything, and start afresh. Just go straight from out of the box set. And so that's how we're going to do it. And we're going to play it remotely because Scott, like myself, we live in areas where we don't have a lot of people around to play these kind of games with. So remote gaming is essentially the next best thing. So at least we can try out the game, we can play the game, we can learn the game, and that way when we do find an opponent physically in our area, we can say, hey, would you want to try Baron's War? And I played a couple of games and I can give you a quick demo. And that way, you've got all the essentials up here, and you can play a nice and exciting game to hopefully get someone else involved in giving a go and playing it with you. That'll be the main thing. So, because I used to play during the pandemic Test of Honor just solo, just sat here and just played it to learn the rules, so that when I eventually found someone to play with, then I could just do it that way. I'd have some kind of idea of how the game would actually work. So that is remote gaming. If you have any questions or anything like that, please leave them in the comments of the video. I'm always happy to interact with people here in the channel and answer any questions you might have. Thank you to everybody who's subscribed and given the channel a go. I appreciate that, and I hope to have at least one video a week for you, so that we can talk about stuff I'm working on, do like another paint chat session like this. This is easy for me to do because my main job is quite editing intensive, if you like, for my main channel. So I do a lot of that. So I don't want to have this sort of being a very intensive editing kind of process. Something pretty laid back and easy when I'm sort of just painting stuff and talking about hobby and that kind of thing. So I appreciate those who have subscribed and enjoyed the content. And any day now, I should have a nice little parcel from Footsore Miniatures popping in the post box for my Unlikely Allies set for Test of Honor. So that's going to be the partner set to the Rogues and Ruffians. So I look forward to getting that, unboxing it, probably a video for the channel as well, having a look at the contents of that box set, and then eventually coming out with a video of all of them painted up. So, and we'll have a look at doing some painting videos as well for the channel too, just maybe, when I get the box set for Baron's War, maybe have a look at painting some of the plastics or something like that. And I've got quite a few Baron's War miniatures here to do already. Some of the lovely metal models designed by Paul Hicks to paint. So we might do something like that and do another sort of painting video, perhaps. But I think that's sort of covered the main news for everybody. So I hope everyone's had a great week, or enjoying their current week, and that they've got some painting time in over the weekend perhaps, and they're looking forward to playing some games over the weekend. If you would be interested in looking at the Discord channel, there is one for Warhost, so that covers Baron's War, Gangs of Rome, and Mortal Gods. And I would assume that they would probably expand it out with the Warhost game for the fantasy version at some point as well, and Conquest and all the other systems that fall under the whole, Barron's War umbrella. So at some point, I think George Asling is sort of controlling that. It's not very active, but I would really like to see that group active because given how popular the Facebook group is, I think the Discord has potential of becoming a pretty big community there as well. And that's where I kind of reside in social media these days, because I enjoy having a paint and chat like we did last Sunday, which was there Saturday evening. I sat here with on Discord with George and a gentleman from Germany, and we sort of just sat and just talked hobby, talked about Mortal Gods, which the German person Dino was interested in, and we talked a little bit about Barron's War and our situations where we live and our sort of playing groups and stuff like that. So it was good just to sit down and have a chat with the guys and just talk some hobby, which is also can be very motivational. Can be quite dangerous too when you're thinking about dropping some money on a game, because Dino's interested in playing or trying out Test of Honor, and I'm quite happy to give him a demo game just remotely, as we talked about, to show him the system, because it's very similar to how Mortal Gods play. So yeah, so that's been fun. So if that's something of interest to you, that maybe you're already a member of Discord and you can just jump into the server. If you're not, it's just really easy to make your own profile and avatar and that kind of thing, and jump in and get involved with the Discord community there. So, all right, guys, well, I'm going to leave you there because I should get back to bed, because I think it's now, I don't know, close to 3 o'clock here now in the morning, to get a few more hours of shut-eye before the new day starts. So until then, guys, take care of yourselves, enjoy your hobby, and I'll see you again for the next video. Until then.